to see the benefits of going the first day. After a while, students start fighting for the first day. They're like, no, I want to go the first day, because they realize that first of all, the extra day doesn't help anyone. Even if you have an extra day to prepare, it really doesn't help anyone. Because they're like, no, I have an extra day, I can prepare more. You don't do it. But at least this way you say, I'm done, I'm over, that's it. I saw Daniela here somewhere. There's here. I guess I was imagining. Okay. Who's Fernando Martinez?
Oh, I'm sorry, teacher. I have to change the name of my father because he had a meeting yesterday.
But who is this? I can't see you.
Oh, Laura Martinez.
Ah, Laura, okay. Yeah, if I could have seen you, I wouldn't have even looked at the name, but I couldn't. Laura, I put you today after Nora. You'll be number 12.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Okay, just about to see Nora's here, Nicole's here, Fernanda. Yeah, I saw, because I saw Fernando. Alex is here. Jesus is here. Eduardo. Yeah. Oh, Javier. Oh, yeah, there you are, Javier. Okay. Maria Jose. Teresa, yeah. Guadalupe here. Good. I'm glad to see some of you that I don't normally see, because you have cameras turned off. I'm really glad to get to see you today. Okay, Chris is not here. Alejandro is not here. Bere is not here yet. Okay. Ashley and Vianney. I don't think Vianney is coming back. Does anybody know Vianney? She hasn't been here since 7, 8, and 9, 9, 10, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, she hasn't been here. Okay. All righty. Let's get started. Let's get started, shall we? All right. Today, oh, here's the problem. Let's see if they come in. Xochitl and Alejandro are going to evaluate Javier. Ismael, Nati, you're going to evaluate Miguel. Bere and Teresa, you're going to evaluate Fernanda. Laura, Ariadna, you're going to evaluate Maria Jose. Laura, you're going to both present and evaluate today. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Chris and Nicole, you're going to evaluate Alex. Daniela and Sophia, you're going to evaluate Ashley, if she comes. Xochitl and Alejandro, you're going to evaluate Jesus. Ismael and Nati, you're going to evaluate Guadalupe. Bere, Teresa, you're going to evaluate Eduardo. Laura, Ariadna, you're going to evaluate Belen. Chris and Nicole will evaluate Nora. Nicole, you heard Nora, right? With an N?
Yes.
Okay, good. We get confused sometimes with Nora and Laura. but Nora, you'll be evaluating. And Daniela and Sofia, you will evaluate Laura. Okay, any questions about that? No? All right, everyone, stretch up to the ceiling. I know you need it today. Stretch up to the ceiling, up as much as you can, down to your feet. Down to your feet. Touch your toes if you can, touch the floor. Take it up again, up, 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 up to the ceiling. Up to the ceiling. Stretch it out. Take it down to the floor, down to the floor. Breathe in. Don't forget to breathe. Take it up, up, up. Wave your arms. Wave your arms like you're trying to signal to your friend across the yard at school. Wave to them, wave to them. Move your shoulders, back, front. Say, I don't know. Move your head side to side. Front to back. Relax yourself. Don't forget to breathe. Take it around in a circle. And the other way. Don't forget to breathe. Right? Let's yawn. Sigh. Yawn. Sigh. Inhale for 5. Inhale for 5. Exhale with a hiss. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. 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 Red leather, yellow leather. 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 Red lorry, yellow lorry. 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 Good. Breathe in for 5. Hold it. Breathe out for 5. Close your eyes. You're seeing yourself, turning on your audio, presenting your speech, showing us that you know what you're talking about, showing us that you've practiced, showing us that you can do a really good job, sounding professional, sounding like you're talking to us and having a normal, everyday conversation, but you're very knowledgeable about the subject and you're very organized in the way that you're saying it. Your classmates are watching you just so they can hear the information that you give to them. And you're giving them the information in such a way that they are amazed by how organized you are, how well you can express yourself, how you don't use your hands, how you don't use your eyes and move them a lot, how you don't do any kind of gesture that would distract, how you're able to sit up straight, good posture, good voice, able to give us your topic. Afterwards, the entire class turns on their microphones and they applaud. And they applaud you because they learned something new today. And they felt that it was very valuable to listen to your speech today. You did a good job. You amazed everyone. And you feel good about yourself. And you should, because you earned it. You were ready and you did it. This is just one step towards what you're going to do in the future. Breathe in for 5, hold, out for 5. Are we ready? Open your eyes. All right. Don't forget, only the applause that your classmates deserve. If they deserve lots of applause, give them lots of applause. If they don't deserve so much applause, don't give them a lot of applause. Any questions before we start? No questions? All right. Javi, whenever you want to start, I'll start the clock.
Have you ever achieved a prize, a trophy in your life for doing a job very well? Have you had the opportunity to speak in front of many people in a crowded place? When I was 16 years old, I received a beautiful opportunity to speak in front of many people because I was able to receive one of the most beautiful trophies in my life. Because I was able to be one of the best footballer players from the tournament from my village. Also, my team was able to win that competition from that year, 2016 and 2017. That is the trophy. Whenever I see that trophy, many people ask me some question about the skill, strategies, what is the correct way to kill the ball. However, I remember a little boy asked me some question about my life. An example was, why did I decided to play soccer in my life? I remember that question was piece of the cake because I only told him about some benefits soccer brought to me. For that reason, today I want to present what benefits I have been receiving since I decided to play soccer in my life. Physical exercise is good for your body, mind, and spirit. However, Sport Illustrated magazine from Spain mentioned that many people think to practice sport for children and younger is not a grateful idea. However, in my case was totally different because I couldn't take advantage about the situation. An example, soccer helped me to reduce the stress in my body, in my mind. Secondly, to lose weight. When I was 20 years old, I weighed 16 kilos. You can imagine I didn't have a good childhood, but today I have a fitness body. Everything has been changing. Physical exercise improve my condition and establish all the things in my body. Secondly, friendship. Friendship is one of the most beautiful gifts you can present to anyone. However, when you want to know the true friendship, you can figure with some problems. An example, lies. In my case was totally different because when I changed to soccer, I had opportunity to know and meet with different people from different states and different countries. An example was when I had opportunity to play in one of the most beautiful tournaments from the Puebla City, Torneo de Barrios. I had opportunity to play with many people. 10% of the people mentioned They knew the best friend into the soccer field. In my case, was totally different because into the field, I had opportunity to know one of the most important person in my life. Also, sometimes we had opportunity to training together. You know, when I see her, I had one of the most feelings in my body, in my mind. Sometimes you only need to identify the true friends because many you can know many people when you decide to practice an sport. However, what do you need to do? You need to select the real friendship for your life. Finally, I learned losing is not always terrible because you can take advantage about that. An example in my case, you can come across with different feelings when you fight in a match, when you fight in in a presentation. An example, this. However, I know I'm going to prove many things. Thanks to soccer, I feel much better today. Why? Because I have been receiving some benefits. An example, to have a good style of the life, to make many friends, also to learn losing is not always terrible. Thanks to soccer, my life has been changing.
All right. Don't go crazy with your applause either. All right. Miguel, remember we're going to talk about these at the end. Miguel, whenever you're ready, I'll start the clock.
Once he told me, life is highs and lows. It is falling off and getting up over and over again. When I was little, I remember my grandpa telling me, don't be scared, nothing is going to happen. And he said this while he was pushing me in my bike. I fell off, I got up with my knee bleeding, but other than that, nothing happened. I thought it was too difficult for me to learn how to ride a bike, but when I finally learned, it became my favorite hobby. And over time, I discovered the physical benefits of riding a bike, which are developing strong muscles, improving resistance, and decreasing body fat. Many of us have ridden a bike at least once in our life, and we all consider that exercise is essential, even though we don't exercise frequently. This happened to me when I was in high school and I went to the doctor. He told me that I had to lose weight because I was a little overweight. I first started jogging, but it was boring and tiring the way back home because you have to come back walking. I decided to ride my bike every day during 2 months. After these 2 months, I couldn't believe that I had lost weight. I was very happy with the results, that I was much more interested in riding a bike as a way of exercise. And I realized that it doesn't just make you lose weight, it also makes your muscles stronger. One of my friends, who is a cyclist, said, I've been in shape thanks to cycling. And yes, he had developed stronger legs because legs are the main muscles we work on when we ride a bike. Also, he said that glutes and calves have an important input. In one of his rides, one of the new guys in his crew had an accident. He was riding so fast that he lost balance and fell. He got injured, but he was conscious. He said that he had felt dizzy. And this has to do with resistance. Many people put more attention to strength and they forget the resistance is essential for whatever activity we do. Riding a bike helps you to improve your resistance. When you start riding a bike, you don't start going fast and take long roads. Instead, you start by taking short distance and you start from a low to a normal speed. Then, little by little, you will see the results. And you'll notice not just when riding a bike, but also in your daily activities. Overall, riding a bike gives you many experiences, and at the same time, it provides physical benefits, such as developing strong muscles, improving resistance, and decreasing body fat. Thank you.
All right, quick word here. This is the second day of presentations. I'm a little less tolerant of things not being well done. You had more time. You saw your classmates' experiences yesterday. The main thing I saw in these two presentations, does anybody else know what I'm thinking? What I heard?
I'm talking about and thank you.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about and thank you. That is basically unforgivable at this point because you need to let them go. You can't just say thank you. The other one was, what was it? I have decided to talk about. So I guess, Javier, you thought you were going around it instead of going straight to it, but it's the same thing. But what's happened? Does anyone feel like they're talking to us? In both of them, I wrote, it's either memorized or read. Either you're reading it or you've memorized it. This doesn't sound natural. You're not talking to us. You're giving a speech. You're talking, here's us, you're talking here. You're not talking here. Miguel, I think you even forgot something that you were going to say because you kind of looked up, remembered, and came back. But I think that was part of the memorization. It was either, and you can tell me not, but it was either memorized or it was read. And this, as I told you, I mean, one thing is that you're in front of the camera and I can't see the paper in front of you. I can't see what you're doing there, but we can hear it. And we can see it in the fact that you're just, it's not communication. It's not communication, right? So I just want to get that out right now because you had more time, you had more opportunity. You saw what your classmates did wrong yesterday and what they did well, and it's not going to fly. So please, the rest of you that are presenting, make sure that we're not doing the same. Make sure you're organized. Make sure you're really talking to us. Okay? I want to learn something. I want to laugh with you. I want to sit here and enjoy and say, oh yeah, okay. I don't want to sit here and listen to something that's memorized. Right? Let's try it. Let's keep going. I put my keyboard on my paper. All right, Fernanda, whenever you're ready.
Imagine you're having the best dream of your life since a long, long time ago. You're happy, relaxed, you don't want to wake up. Then the clock alarm starts ringing. But in this case, it is not an annoying sound. In fact, you open your eyes listening. You hear the lyrics and say, God, I really feel great today. This happened to me 2 months ago, and I didn't realize the power of the Beatles songs and how they can relate it in our day-to-day. But I'm not talking about just about the mood. I'm talking about situation in human life. For example, a day in a lifetime. These songs talk about many things that happen in a human day. I have not enough time to explain all the things that happen. They talk about people watching movies in a movie theater. They talking about they're talking about a man who made it up great, but also talk about a person who read the news and how absurd they can be about, I don't know, now we know how many holes it takes to fill the whole heart. Or besides, our sad news like a man who blew his mind out in his car. But there are not just common situation lives. For example, the other day I was reading the news on Twitter and I get not about news about policy, but I remind another Beatles songs, Revolution. In these songs, they talk about what is the point to get mad about something if that don't fix the problem. But let's start to talk about this situation in human life. What about relationship? Boyfriends, girlfriends, guys, I don't know if you have experienced this, but whenever a girl, you're dating with a girl and she already says that she loves you, you want to be excited and then you start to scream, you want to jump and you want to tell to all the world, hey, she loved me already. But what about when she broke your heart? Well, Beatles has a song for that. You can drink a complete bottle of alcohol with this kind of songs. But come on, let's start talking about romantic situation. What about, I don't know, what about pets? Do you like dogs? Well, Beatles do. Martha, my dear, it's a beautiful song which is talking about a beautiful dog that Paul used to have. But what about pets? Pets is not all. What about friends? Every time that you drink with friends and you are in a bar, if you get drunk and you start to singing aloud and you are not a good singer, but your friends don't care about. They just want they just want to enjoy the time with you. So Beatles have a lot of different songs, not just love songs or sad songs. And it is amazing the way that their songs that had been written several decades ago is still having a very important impact in the way that we do things, the way that we feel, and also the way that we relation to others.
Maria Jose, whenever you, I don't know what language I'm speaking. Whenever you're ready, I'll start the timer for you.
As a child, I discovered a genre of games that actually enhance my second language learning process. The main goal of these games is to interact with other players and and perform some shared activity. Thomas and Svetsovar in Influence of Video Games in the Acquisition Process of English Language, a January 19, 2018 article posted in ResearchGate said that interaction between players is one of the main purpose of all this kind of genre of games because they relate to all kind of personal interaction among players. The genre of games I'm talking about is massive multiplayer role-playing online games. And they have several benefits on language, for example, improved vocabulary, frequent practice, and prompt feedback. Video games in a second language might be hard for some people at first because of the lack of vocabulary they might have. But in massive multiplayer online games, this process goes by chunks. So you can go at your own pace since every quest gives you different vocabulary. And this vocabulary might seem limited, but will actually be expanded later on in game with real practice in conversations with other people. After acquiring this vocabulary, you got to practice it between players. New vocabulary. The new vocabulary you got, you have to use it with other players to complete quests and talk to them. You are free to play any time of the day, and there will always be someone online, so you have unlimited chances to practice your second language with native speakers. In addition to this vocabulary and frequent practice, you also got prompt feedback from massive multiplayer online games. You can practice with any other people in the game, but if they become your friends, they will help you out with any doubt and will give you positive feedback. These players from massive multiplayer online games do not feel this as a burden, but instead they get really excited to see other people that are really excited to play the same game as them, and to also learn new languages and learn about new cultures. After hearing about all of these benefits, we come to realize that massive multiplayer online games are more than just entertainment, and they can actually help you learn. You could be learning while having fun with your online friends. And some people might say, video games are not my thing, but after hearing all of these benefits, I'm certain that you would consider giving them a chance.
Alejandro, you are evaluating Jesus. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, Alex, when you're ready, we'll start the timer.
Joining the army is one of the things that most people don't really like. They think that there's just going to be warfare, guns, and also a lot of violence. But in some certain cases, that's not what really being a soldier is. Sometimes we don't see their background on what they're really specialized in. And sometimes people get the wrong idea about these facts. But rather than that, they don't seem to care about what some of the advantages of joining the army are. In my personal opinion, there are three points that I would really like to share, and that these points are some of the things that many people don't really realize, but they are really helpful, and they're free to get. Point number one is education. Inside of the system education of military, there there's some There are some there are some there are some areas that in which someone can be specialized in, and not just any area. Some of them are being technicians in computers, technicians in motors of transports, and so they have bachelor degrees such as translations, laws, and also medicine. Some of these are very beneficial and they help you with your daily life. When you graduate from these type of areas and decide to retire from the army, you can apply for a job in any part of the region, such as being a translator for documents or for any other purposes. And in the side of medicine, you can join a hospital. One of the things that also helps being in the army is that you get this for free. There are no charges, no costs, and you only have to pay for what is the registration and applying for that. The second point is mm, the second point is getting health benefits, meaning that you don't have to pay for treatments or any certain type of injuries, so to speak. One of these is getting dental care. They don't even have a cost. You get the dental care for all of your service. And the second thing of health benefits is it's not only physical health, it's also mental. They even have psychiatric uh, experts on how to treat some traumas. The last point, and not really the last point in my list, but it's also one of the most important ones, is that you get basic training. And when I refer to basic training, is that you have self-defense training, meaning that you go by the streets and when you're getting hijacked or robbed, you you get assaulted in many other forms, such as with knives or guns. So having self-defense practices is that you get the opportunity to defend yourself and without hurting the person. In conclusion, being in the army has some good things and not always bad things. But some of these really don't take are taking consideration to the public.
Ashley's not here. So we'll go on to Jesus. Whenever you're ready.
We live in an age when many of us are multitasking, and on occasions, we get bored while doing it. When it comes to do our homework, we always want to do it perfect, or at least most of the times. And we think that people around us are very noisy because they are talking, they are playing, and often they are playing music in the background. And you might get upset due to all these difficulties. Surprisingly, listening to music is believed to have a positive impact on the workplace. From cleaning your bedroom to do your homework, listening to music will bring you a lot of benefits, that will help you to improve your experience and sometimes to have a better understanding about a topic. Firstly, we as students need to concentrate to study and get good grades. When we have a busy semester like the one that we have now, we tend to stress more and more every day. This is the perfect reason why we should play our favorite music. The University of Maryland Medical Center reveals that students should listen to music because listening to music is a way to process emotions, and people often turn to the music they can relate to as it helps them to deal with stress. So if you're under stress, it can be a good idea to put some music on. Most of us have problems when we talk about an oral exam because what we want to do is to memorize all the information instead of comprehending it. Anyhow, if we want to comprehend or memorize an idea, a good way to do it is by listening to music because it will help us increasing our, our concentration and reducing the effects of distraction on us. Another important point is that music is found to help people perform better in high pressure situations. Studies reveals that music can help students to improve their low performance when doing homework or a second activity. Do you want to do the best essay but you're under stress? Relax. You just need to play some beats before start doing it. Anxiety can become an overwhelming blockade between us and our task. Rather than distract us, music has a positive impact on our brain if we are under stress because it is proven to help improve cognitive uh, performance. Nevertheless, it is important to know that not all type of music works in the same way. Music such as epic music can make you feel like you're doing something wonderful. Otherwise, music such as classical can keep your brain engaged on its subject or its activity. Taking everything into consideration, now we understand that music and concentration are strongly linked in the brain, and that music can be beneficial to study. However, we have to know which type of music is most beneficial for us, as it is normally based on, on personal preference. Now, you know, if you're struggling with stress, you just need to play your favorite playlist.
Guadalupe, no pressure, but please make me feel like we got up this morning for a reason. Go.
Stress, pressure, and despair were the feelings that I used to feel every time that I couldn't find my keys, my homework, my notebook, and even important documents such as my visa, and wasting time trying to find it. Being organized, a habit that I never thought would help me and bring benefits to my life, such as getting off stress and becoming me a productive person. When I was in high school, I used to be a disorganized person. I used to live in a constant stress, and I didn't know what was the cause until one day I had to deliver an important project that consisted in an essay. I did my essay one day before of the day that I had to hand it over, and I was stressful. because I didn't remember where I wrote down the specifications of my essay, where I have the previous research that I have done. When I got my essay, I put my essay in the table instead of a backpack. So 5 minutes before to tell my boss to go to school, I realized that I didn't have my essay. So I have to return to my house to look for it. And I spent minutes and minutes trying to find it. And when I realized I just have 20 minutes to get a school, and I used to live 1 hour far away from the school. Being disorganized was causing me stress. And when I started to have a specific place to have my things and information, I started to notice that I find things more easy. I didn't waste time. And unconsciously, I started to get rid of stress. And the time that I used to waste trying to find things, I became a productive time. I used to forget the important days of when I have to deliver my homework or when I had to do certain activities. And when I started to organize my time by doing schedules and checklists of the things that I have done and the things that I need to do, my day became more productive. I used to go just to school and spend all the day trying to avoid doing my homework because I didn't want to think where I left my book, where I wrote down my homework. But when I started to organize my time, I go into school, I enroll me a course of math, English, I enroll me in a basketball team, and I have time for myself. Being an organized person just consists to have everything in order. Once you get this habit into your life, stress and lack of productivity won't be an impediment to succeed in your life.
I missed points. I didn't find points there. Okay. Eduardo, what do you think? You think you can save this?
I think I can. I think. I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to try to do my best.
Whenever you're ready.
At the age of 8, I had my first outdoor experience, and let me tell you, this outdoor experience was not good. I was invited by my cousins to this outdoor activity. It consisted of sleeping outside, uh, sleeping in the wilderness, um, doing a lot of outdoor activities, and if you're thinking of camping, well, yes, it was camping. And why am I telling you it was a bad experience? Well, it was a bad experience because we were not prepared. And to well, we were not prepared because we just wanted to go to think we were going to go camping, but we were not going camping. We were just going to drink with her friends. I didn't drink at that time, but my cousins drank. But I'm here to tell you that in order to be prepared to a camping trip, you have to have in mind so many things. Things like camping gear, temperature, the weather, and the place. First of all, the camping gear can include a lot of things. It can include a tent, a sleeping bag, provisions like snacks and food, water, cooler, and a first aid kit because you never know when you can have an emergency. The second thing that comes up when camping is the temperature and what you're going to wear. What you're going to wear. It's essential with the temperature and the weather. If the weather is not appropriate, you're going to have a bad experience. But if you have to have in mind the three, if how many days you're going to stay in the wilderness. The the third thing it will be the place. The place is essential. It could be any outdoor place like the forest, a national park, or a recreational park. These places could be essential for camping for the first time and have a good experience. And the last thing will be the desire. Desire is one of the most important things because if you don't have the desire of going out and having a good time and leaving all the urbanization for a bit, you're going to not have a good time. So disconnect to connect.
Those of you who are evaluating Eduardo, please take into consideration that his speech was 2 minutes, 38 seconds. It was under time. So when you evaluate, keep that in mind.
What, teacher, sorry?
2 minutes, 38 seconds. So when you evaluate, it did not meet the time considerations. Belen, I know you can do this. Whenever you're ready.
For many people, they are frightening creatures that could make a big man scream or even a lady pass out. But for so many others, they are a very good option for a new friend. You could have a relation of true love in just 10 centimeters. That's why I love my little hamster Yorkie. I have him since he was a baby, and I think he's one of the most amazing pets. According to Carol Hider, a veterinarian, hamsters are very, very intelligent and full of personality. That makes them a very good option for a new pet. And during this time I have Yorkie, I realized that they are a good option for a pet because they are clean, they are cheap, and they are relaxing. Usually when people think about hamsters, imagine horrible and dirty animals. But I think that doesn't happen in real world because hamsters are especially clean. They just choose one corner of his cage as a bedroom, and the rest will keep clean without any kind of pleasant smell. And actually, hamsters bathe themselves, so that becomes easier to keep the area clean and the hamster himself. Also, hamsters are very cheap. They don't require a lot in order to have a comfortable habitat. Their cage, well, and toys will not cost you very much at all. And talking about the food, it is not a problem either because hamsters don't eat a lot because they are such small animals. The amount of food that they need is, is not the same as a large pet needs, like a dog or a cat. One bag of hamster food will last you for a very long time. Another reason of why I love hamsters is because they are very relaxing. If you are having a bad day, you could just go and watch them running around in their hamster balls or trying to keep as much possible food into their cheeks and then take it into a secret place. That makes you forget everything and just having a good moment with them. In short, hamsters are amazing pets because they won't require you to change your daily life. They won't cost you a fortune either, and they will help you to have a better and relaxing life. You won't imagine how much love these little animals could give to you.
Those of you who evaluated Belen take into consideration that her speech was, excuse me, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. It was also under time. Okay. Nora. There you are, Nora.
When I have a bad day, I feel sad, or maybe I have problems with my friends or at school. One of the few things that makes me feel better is going to my garden. And I know it may sound a bit silly, but it's very effective to me. I have been working on my garden like for 1 year and a half, and since that moment, I have felt better emotionally. I cannot say it's like magic because it doesn't work like this, but it's more like a little spark that makes you feel happy every day and makes you feel relaxed. Well, according to an article published in the Journal of Physiological Anthropology in 2015, plants can have different psychological benefits for us. Some of them are that they reduce our stress, they improve our mood, and also they teach us to be more responsible. But how does each of these points work? First, although it sounds a bit strange, it is proven that placing at least one plant in your environment makes you feel more relaxed. I think it makes your work area or your home a more pleasant place where you can enjoy your time and you can forget all your worries for a moment. Now, how you think they improve your mood and how they can help you to be more responsible? Well, this is happening little by little. From my experience, when I acquired my first plant, I was very excited. I was very, very excited, but I was very disorganized in that moment, and I had many other responsibilities in school and in my home. So I forgot about it for a while, and that depressed me a lot. I felt that I couldn't even take care of a plant. But then I decided that I had to be more organized. It was very difficult to me, but I managed to find a time to dedicate to my garden. And when I see that they were growing up again, I just feel very excited. And at the same time, it helped me a lot to be responsible with all my duties. So in general, plants can have many benefits for our mental health. And I consider that if you try to take care at least of one plant, you can feel that spark that they transmit you day by day.
Laura.
Yeah.
Okay.
Laura, before you begin, I'm going to spend a class with my video turned off so that the rest of you see what it feels like. And the next time you present, I'm going to turn my video off so you can't see what I'm doing, right? I understand sometimes you don't have video. It's happened to me before. But I do know that you have video. All of you that have your video turned off, I know you have video. And it's like putting a curtain up. If we're in the classroom and you put a curtain up in front of you. So I know that you have video. If it takes more of your data and you can't do, let me know. But out of courtesy and respect, we do need to see you. Does everybody understand that? All right, Laura, whenever you're ready.
Practicing sport is an important part of a healthy lifestyle. This prevents health problems, increases strength, energy, and can help reduce stress. It can also help to maintain a healthy body weight and reduce appetite. But sport not only involves physical exercise, but also serves to work on social skills and emotional education. Volleyball is a team sport that can be practiced by people from all ages and skill levels. It can be played in both indoor and outdoor setting, and it's a great bonding activity for friends and family. Volleyball can also help you to learn and develop social skills such as self-confidence and teamwork. The success that we achieve through dedication in sports practice increase our confidence in ourselves as we achieve these goals. When we do it, we are fostering the I can thinking. Volleyball is a sport that is practiced in a group, which helps us to socialize, allows us to communicate, live together, and share emotions with other people, making that thought, I can become we can. Because I used to be an athlete, I learned that each person, each player is a really important part of the team, which is a group of people with a common goal. In this case, winning. And in order to achieve that goal, all players must collaborate with enthusiasm, motivation, mutual support, and a spirit of community. I can say that volleyball not only gave me a hobby, it also gave me a second family, and I have learned a lot from other people who surround me while training. It can be said that volleyball is a very complete sport that can help us to work not only the physical aspect, but also the emotional.
That's it?
Yes.
Good Lord. Those who are evaluating Laura, hers was 2:38, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Way under time. All right. Do I look happy?
No.
Do you
No.
look happy?
No.
And you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. Your audience today, and I want to say, forgive me for what I say. Forgive me for, but no, I'm not asking for forgiveness. Because when I speak, I prepare. And this is more than just being nervous the first time. This is not organizing. This is not being ready. And it's not respecting your audience. Those of you that didn't present today, you came here just to listen to your classmates. What did you learn? What did you learn today?
The speech needs more preparation and time.
But what did you learn? What did you learn from your classmates today?
Nothing.
That they didn't put attention.
I learned that hamsters are cheap.
Uh,
I learned that hamsters are cheap. That's what sticks in my mind right now. Okay. But something is happening and it's not, it can't continue because otherwise, like I said, I'm not expecting perfection, but I expected organization today. I expected nervousness. Yes. I expected you to be nervous. I expected you to stumble every now and again. but I expected a well-organized speech. I expected an attention step. I expected your topic. I expected credibility and goodwill. I expected your central idea. Then I expected a well-supported point 1, a well-supported point 2, a well-supported point 3. I expected your central idea again. It's the same central idea as the introduction. And then I expected you to let your audience go. 6, 7, 8, 9 things. 9 things. Attention, topic, credibility and goodwill, central idea. Point 1, point 2, point 3, central idea, let them go. That's what I expected. If you were nervous, yes. If you were moving your hands a lot, okay, we'll get that. But I expected a well-organized speech, and I expected you to talk to your audience. That's what I expected, and that's what I didn't get. If you have a full introduction and a full conclusion and 3 well-supported points, you should be up above 4.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes, 2:45. It's not a well-organized speech. You don't have enough. And I'm not saying just to spend the time, just to fill the time with other things. Each point itself is going to take you more than a minute. Right? When I make, when I take notes, the greatest thing is when I can sit here and say, attention, good. Topic, credibility and goodwill, central idea. And all I do is write attention, ATT, if it was good. Topic, TOP, C and GW, CI. If I have all of that here, I don't need to remember what you said. All I do is remember you had it. You had it. And a lot of us didn't have it today. It jumped from one point to the other. I didn't know where I was in the speech. I was lost. I didn't feel the desire to listen. Remember, you're speaking for your audience. You're not speaking for you. You're speaking for your audience. And even though you're speaking for yourself because of a grade, you still have to take into consideration that it's your audience who's listening to you. And your audience got up this morning to listen to you. Are they happy about that? Ask them. Audience, are we happy that you got up this early in the morning to listen to the speeches? Or would you prefer to be in bed?
In bed.
Thank you for your honesty. I would too. All right. Let's take a look at it because we're going to be pulling out some things here that you'll see what's happening more specifically. Right? So we have Javier. Javier, you started with a sigh. The worst thing you can do is start with a sigh because it makes your audience feel like you don't want to be there. And even if you don't want to be there, you can't let your audience know that. Now, that's nervousness. That's nervousness, and I understand that. It happens. But remember, don't turn your microphone on until you are absolutely ready to start. If you're going to sigh to get out your nervous energy, keep your microphone off. And when you turn it on, boom, you're ready to go. Javier, were you talking about football or soccer? Javier, football or soccer?
Soccer.
Okay, you went back and forth. You did the same thing with your information on your central idea. You went back and forth between football and soccer. Now remember, soccer is football in some English-speaking countries. Okay, to me it's soccer. But if you go to Britain or to Australia, you're going to hear it as football, right? But you need to be consistent. Whichever you use, you need to be consistent with it. Wow, I like the trophy. I like the trophy. There was his credibility, right? Showing that trophy. Good. Now, did he give goodwill? Did he give any kind of idea of why it's important for us to know this, why he's giving it to us? This was an area that was very neglected today. A lot of us didn't have that goodwill. I wasn't sure what your points were. You talked about stress, you talked about losing weight, you sighed again, you talked about friendship, you talked about lifestyle, you talked about learning how to lose. So I wasn't sure what your points were there. Okay. You showed a picture and you said her, she. Who was that? Who was that?
She's my girlfriend.
Tell us that. You kept her in mystery. And we're like, who is she? Your mother, your friend, your sister? All right. Tell us that. Or at least I didn't hear it. Javier said, I have decided to talk about, which is exactly the same as saying, today I'm going to talk about. So be careful. It takes different disguises. And again, Javier, I applaud your speed for speaking, okay? But it didn't sound like you were talking to us. It sounded like you were either reading or it was memorized, right? But I liked the speed that you were talking with. I liked it very much, okay? But you had a I think the central idea was not the same as the one at the beginning. I'm not sure you gave the points in the central idea. The ending was very weak. We sometimes don't know that that's the end of it, okay? Remember, we're looking for certain things in our speeches. This is for everyone. We're looking for those points. When we don't find them, we're going to get confused. We're not going to know. Now, Miguel, he started with an anecdote and from there went straight to the central idea and then gave the topic, something in that order. I didn't hear credibility and goodwill in your introduction. Right? You gave an anecdote, you got our attention with your grandfather teaching you to ride bike. You had your points. I wasn't sure, up until the conclusion, your speech was good. Right? Up until the conclusion, your speech was good. I'm not sure what happened in the conclusion. I wrote here, it was good up until this point. I don't think you let us go. Oh, you said thanks, right? You're the one that said thanks. That's the problem, yeah. Okay. So up until your conclusion, it was a good speech. But that's, I think the worst thing we can do is that we're doing really great and then we say, that's all. And your audience is going, I was expecting more than that. So when we do it, this is when we do our tongue twisters, a lot of times I will take you to the end and we'll work our way back. Okay, where's my tongue twister here? Where's my tongue twister? There we are. The zoo. The zoo zebra swam through the zebra zone. Remember that one? And we started with zebra zone, zebra zone, the zebra zone, the zebra zone, through the zebra zone, swam through the zebra zone. Zebra swam through the zebra zone, the zoo, zebra zone. And I take you to the end because what happens if we don't focus on that end, we go, the zoo zebra swam through the zoo zebra swam through the zoo zebra swam through the you just kind of leave the ending fly off like that. And that's what happens sometimes in the speeches. We're really focusing well on the first part, but we're losing the last part, all right? So the first part of your speech, your introduction and your points were good. Missing credibility and goodwill, right? But well formulated, well supported. It was a conclusion where you had the problem. And we said about the voice. Again, I like the speed of your voice, but it wasn't natural. It was either read or memorized. If it wasn't, you can tell me that it wasn't, but I'm not sure I would believe you. Okay? So you're at a good place to continue with it, Miguel. Just be very certain to focus a lot on that conclusion so that you don't only begin well, but you also end well. You end strongly. Okay. Fernanda, you started with a visualization to get our attention. You said, God, I really feel great today, but I didn't feel it. You know what I mean? When you say, God, I really feel great today, you really need to put that feeling into it. Otherwise, God, I really feel great this morning. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Okay. But more energy, more feeling. Now, I liked your idea of associating songs with feelings, but I got lost. You just started kind of talking about a feeling or an event and giving a song, and talking about a feeling or an event and giving a song. I got lost in the body. I was looking for something that I couldn't find. Don't ever tell your audience that you don't have enough time to explain, because your audience is going to say, well, then why would you choose this topic if you don't have time to explain something that you give? Don't tell your audience you don't know something. Don't tell your audience you don't have time to do something. Don't tell your audience, oh, I brought some material, but I lost it on the bus. Don't tell your audience that. Just let them think that you don't have material. Okay? Don't tell your audience when something went wrong, because we won't know. We won't know if you don't tell us, and that's what you want. I like the use of the music. I like the use of the music. Everyone, you need to find synonyms for amazing. I heard amazing 7 times today. Once by Fernanda, twice by, I think, Belen. I forget who else used amazing. We'll get to it. But the word amazing, it's a great word. It's an amazing word. But we've got to stop using it and use other words that go along. Belen, you were the one that used amazing. Also, I just had it once, but I think it was twice there. Okay. Be careful using so for a conclusion. So or well, because you want to, somebody gave something, what did you give for the conclusion? In conclusion, Alex, you said in conclusion. That's a great way to signal. I mean, it's the most obvious way to signal your conclusion, to say in conclusion, and your audience right away says, oh, your conclusion. No matter how lost we were before, now we know it's the conclusion. If we just say so, they think it's another point. So this, so that, so something else. Okay. In conclusion, in sum, in summary, to wrap things up, to give you a general idea, in short, Belen used in short. These are excellent ways to signal the conclusion. Do that, use them. Okay. Maria Jose, what happened? Were you feeling a little bit nervous today?
Yeah, I get anxious every time I present,
Right.
and well, one of my classmates told me that I was kind of shaking, and yeah, I was.
Yeah, your nerves were getting the best of you. I was finding things up until a certain point. In the body, I got lost. Honestly. What we have to do also is focus not only on the transitions, we have to focus on transitioning. The first thing that we want to take into account is this. Later, we want to look at the second aspect. Finally, this third aspect. And we want to pause. Remember, it's not about speaking quickly. It's about letting our audience know where we are. It's about using pauses for dramatic effect. It's using pauses to let our audience think, and using pauses to signal what we're doing. All right? It's not always just about talking and talking. If you pause, I won't say, oh, why did she pause? She should keep talking. No, I'm going to say, oh, she paused. Oh, good effect. Okay, there you go. And you can use the pause to breathe. And you can use the pause just to blank out for a second and not think of anything and then come back. Right? Don't be afraid to pause, but when you do it strategically, and let us know where we are. Now, at the end, you said you might consider giving them a chance. What did she do when she said you might consider giving them a chance, the video games?
Persuading.
She started trying to persuade us. Everything else was completely informative. But we get to that point and we say, was she trying to persuade us to play? So we want to keep that, okay? So, oh, be careful. You gave an example of research that was posted in ResearchGate, okay? It's good that it's posted in ResearchGate because that's a place where people post their research. But ResearchGate is not the sponsorship of the article. Each article comes from a university or an institution. So ResearchGate is the place where all of this research is posted, but the research doesn't come from there. So use the name of the university or the institution that gives that.
Yeah, I had it, but I got nervous and forgot the name.
I understand.
I didn't want to stay like or check on my notes, so I tried to go on.
Okay, all right. Sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's better to just kind of stop and look and give it. Because when you do that, the audience knows, they don't think, oh, she had to stop and look. They think, oh, she's making sure she's giving us the correct reference. All right. I understand nervousness. Nervousness is terrible. It's terrible. And I think you would be lying to me if you told me that you weren't nervous today, that you're not nervous speaking. I still get nervous speaking. I get terribly nervous speaking. It's just something that from practice, from experience, you start being able to tolerate. I don't like speaking in public. I don't enjoy it. It's nerve-wracking. But I think I do it well. That's the difference. Okay? I can do it and do it well, even though I don't like to. Whenever I don't have anxiety attacks often. I've only had maybe 4 in my entire lifetime. But when I get them, I compare the feeling to having to give a presentation and not being prepared. That's the feeling I have when I have an anxiety attack, that I have to present something and I'm not prepared for it. And it's the most horrible feeling in the world. So the only way to really get that feeling down at all is to be prepared, to have practiced. You're still going to get nervous. You're going to get nervous on the last day of class. That's normal. But it gets a little less each time. Okay. Alex, my first question, what army are you talking about?
It was the main one. Well, it's just that there's 4 branches and this one is called the Army.
Yeah, I know, but like in Mexico?
Yeah, in Mexico. Well, that was the introduction that I said, that in Mexico that the army is, well, that most people see that the army just for pure violence.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I heard
And
that, but I didn't know that the points you were giving were about the army in Mexico.
oh yeah, got a
Okay.
little bit nervous there.
Okay, yeah. I saw you were nervous also, understandable.
Yeah.
Now, you had a first point and you emphasized first point, second point, because we have to be careful emphasizing the points so much. Now you said, in my personal opinion, there are 3 points I would like to share. But instead of saying there are 3 points I would like to share, that's the same as saying, today I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
What you needed to do was to create a sentence that had your 3 points for the central idea. Okay? How many of you, honestly, raise your hand, how many of you have read the book up until the point where we are, up until chapter 8? Who has read the entire book up to chapter 8, honestly?
Mm,
You know the information, you know what you're talking about, you know what to say. This is a big problem. And it doesn't surprise me to see the hands that are not up. This doesn't surprise me because you're not reading, you're not getting the information, you're not organizing your speeches correctly, you're not using the central idea correctly. And that's the problem. You think it's just the book is just a requirement, but the book is actually a Bible for speaking in public. I hate to be blasphemous, but that's what it is. Okay. So yeah, points all over. You say good things, not always bad. I like the in conclusion, okay? But it just was not well organized. It was not well organized. It sounded rushed, right? And I said either it was not practiced or your nerves got the best of you. I think it was a combination of both of them, right? Jesus, one of the comments that I had made to you, I believe, when you were working with your topic was that not all music is the same. Okay. The idea for playing music to get work done is a dangerous topic. Why does anybody, why do you think it's a dangerous topic? The topic playing music to get work done or to be more productive?
Music is too general.
Again?
Music is too general.
Right, right, all right. What kind of music do you play when you're cleaning your house? Exactly. Any kind that gets you going, you're dancing with your broom, exactly. What kind of music do you play when you study? You don't play music, okay? If you played music, what would you play?
Instrumental music.
Instrumental, classical, Baroque. You know from your methodology classes that Baroque music helps activate the mind, right? Or maybe just something calming, maybe New Age music, maybe instrumental, maybe saxophone, right? What kind of music do you play when you're dancing? Pardon? Pop? Okay. Something that makes you move, something that gets you going. What kind of music do you play when you're preparing your speech?
I do not play music.
You don't play music, okay. But you do agree that each activity has a different kind of music that you use. And that's where this speech should have started from. For example, using music to study or using music for productivity in housework and chores, or music for stress relief, or music for, but each music has a purpose and each purpose needs a specific kind of music. Jesus, you even said it at the end. You said not all types of music work in the same way. And that's exactly where you needed to start from. Okay. Now, in the organization, I was lost. Playing music in the workplace, cleaning your bedroom. Should play music. Should is persuasive. Should is persuasive. So if you're under stress, anyhow, we should never use the word anyhow in a speech. What does anyhow mean? What does anyhow mean? Or what does anyhow signal?
If you want.
If you want?
Not exactly.
What does anyhow
It is
mean?
like anyway.
Yeah, what do they mean? If I say
One way or another.
no, it doesn't.
I think it's somehow like, yeah, whatever. Like
Exactly.
things I have said. Meh.
Exactly. Anyhow, all right. Maybe I got off my topic and I said, anyhow, and I continue with my topic because I deviated from my topic. Or it's almost like saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not important. It's not a transition that we want to use. It's not a transition at all, actually. Right? So check that out, how it's used. But anyhow, we don't ever want to look at that. The speech it was all over the place. It was all over the place. Okay. Guadalupe, you started out well. Okay, you started out well. You talked about an experience or that you're tired of looking for your keys and looking for your things. You gave the topic. Then you went back to a high school anecdote about an essay, and that's where you lost me. Right? You got my attention, you told me your topic, but then after that I was lost because you took too long with that anecdote. And I just said, okay, I didn't hear the central idea. I don't know, maybe it was there. I have a question mark. I didn't hear what the first point was. I was lost in the organization there. A phone buzzed as you were speaking, which I don't think anybody else had their microphone on at the same time. So I'm supposing it was yours. It's distracting. And I'm sure it was distracting for you also that the phone did that. Okay. So we do have to be careful that our phone is not around or turned off. Now, I like something that you said, I spent minutes and minutes to find it. Did anyone else notice that? How long is minutes and minutes?
Less than an hour.
It's 3 minutes, right? It's something like that. I like the way that you were trying to exaggerate. Like, I spent all kinds of time. I spent forever to find it. But minutes and minutes does not sound like forever. So I like the way that you were trying to exaggerate the time, but I laughed when I heard the minutes. You know, I spent hours and hours finding it. I spent days and days finding it. I spent weeks and weeks looking for it, but I spent minutes and minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay. Now I understand the rush because, as you said, the school was an hour away and you only had 20 minutes to get there or something like that. I've had nightmares like that. I've had nightmares like that. I am going to fly, I'm going to travel, and I'm here and I don't have anything ready. My suitcases are on the bed empty. I have nothing ready. And I only have 10 minutes to make my flight. And obviously my flight is in Mexico City. I'm not going to get there in 10 minutes. I'm not, anyway. That's my nightmare. That's my recurring nightmare. So I know how you feel. Okay. Now, yours was exactly 3 minutes. It was exactly 3 minutes. So you were in the time limit. But remember, the time limit is 3 to 5. If you can do it in 3 minutes, that's fine. But I didn't feel that this was developed enough in that 3 minutes of time. Eduardo, let me tell you, not me, that's what you said. Where are you? Is he not here? Oh, there you are, in the middle. Okay. This is like the Hollywood squares going on here, but you keep moving. If you were thinking of camping, yes, it was camp. That was the strangest thing I've heard anyone say today. It's like you made a riddle, but it wasn't really a riddle. Then you gave the answer. I'm just not sure about that. We were just going to drink. I don't drink. My cousins drink. We don't give up who drinks. That's not part of your speech. We don't care why you were camping. You were camping. That's it. So you're giving too much information. You're going out there. Gear, temperature and clothes, place, desire. All right. You say gear. That's equipment and provisions. That's basically what you said. Temperature and clothes. What you're going to wear. Place. Any place. What information did you give us? You gave us no information. If you're talking about places to camp, tell us about places to camp. Don't say, you can camp anywhere. We knew that. That's what we thought. What about in Mexico? Where's a good place to camp in Mexico? A safe place, a beautiful place.
Your
Tell us
house.
places. In your house.
The Iztapopo.
Yes.
Tell us that. Tell us that. You know, let me tell you a story about camping in your house, though. My daughters wanted to camp, and they said, we can camp outside. We can camp. We have a little piece of yard here. We can camp outside. I'm like, okay. So we left them camp outside. Next morning, no problem at all. We left the door unlocked so they could come in. They had their keys. 3 days after this, as we were sleeping, probably about between 1 and 6 in the morning, somebody came in. Fortunately, they didn't come into the house. They were in the yard. But they stole a bicycle and they stole the ladder. And I suppose they stole the ladder because they needed the ladder to get back up over the house. And they said, well, let's take the ladder with us and hop down. So they took an old bicycle and they took the ladder, which it could have been worse. Okay. 3 days earlier, my daughters were camping in the yard. So we say, your house is a safe place to camp. Not always. It was terrible. Right? So if you're going to give us a speech, give us information. Give us information. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say, Eduardo, you're going to tell me if I'm incorrect. You prepared this speech about 10 o'clock last night. Am I wrong?
No, I did a video like about 5 minutes. I record myself, but I think I cut the things that I had to say. Like I shortened them up. So.
But you can't shorten it so much that you say that your main point is a place where you can camp, and you say any place is good to camp. I mean, that's desperation.
Well, I said any place like the woods, the forest, or mountain.
Well, we know that. Tell us something we don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, actually, your topic to me was one of the most interesting. Because bicycle, I think everybody knows how to ride the bicycle and knows about the benefits. Okay. Dogs, maybe we don't know, but we have an idea. And I think camping was one of the topics that the fewest number of people knew about. Therefore, you had the greatest possibility of teaching them something new today. And so we can't just say, yeah, you can camp in the woods. We know. You can camp in the mountain. We know. Teach us something new.
Okay. One thing, I didn't want it to be persuasive with my speech. I didn't. So I think mixing some things would have make it a persuasive speech. That's all.
No, it wouldn't necessarily. But we can't have a main point of place and not tell them, right? A place to camp is like music for activities. You camp depending on what you want to do. If you want to hike, camp in the mountains. If you want to commune with nature, camp in the woods next to a stream. If you want to, depending on what your purpose is for camping. No, this is the one that I think the students knew least about. So it had the most opportunities to. Yeah. The conclusion was really weak, really weak. Disconnect to connect. That sounded like a logo for, I don't know, earbuds or something, Nike or, right? And it was 2:38. So instead of being overtime, you were undertime. Belen, do you have a hamster? Where is he? Where is he? You don't have a hamster anymore? You don't have a hamster?
Well, now I have one.
Where is he?
Here in my bed.
Where?
Show us. Here.
All right. We can't really see him, but now we can see the thing. All right. You had, this is interesting because how many, raise your hand if you've ever had a hamster? 3? 3 of your other classmates. I did too. And I had a terrible experience, but I'll tell you about that another time with it. Okay. 3 of your classmates had a hamster. So this is something different as in terms of a pet. And clean, cheap, and relaxing. I like those points because I'm saying, wow, you know. Now you said clean, that you just change the cage or whatever it is you keep them in. And my question here was, why not show it? Why not show the cage that your hamster's in so we can see that it's not a big cage, it's easy to clean, you're proving your point there. You say it's cheap, it will not cost very much. Give examples, all right? Your food will last for a long time. Show us a bag of food. Show us a bag of food. This bag of food, for example, will last for 3 months and it costs 40 pesos. That way we're seeing, wow, for food for the hamster, 40 pesos for 3 months, that's 13 pesos a month. Oh, that's cheap. We're doing the math in our head, right? So when you say it's cheap, give us figures, give us ideas. The food will last for a long time. And relaxing, that was a good point. All right. In short, I like that transition very much. In short, be careful because at the end it was a little general, a little generic. You won't imagine how much love animals can give us, right? But your speech would have been much livelier if you had had the hamster with you. Maybe you can't actually, or you don't want to have him in your hands because you're feeling very nervous. But do you have a little travel cage or something that you could like transfer him there and have him there with you as you're speaking? And maybe you could lower your camera, lower yourself, so that your face is at your desk level with your hamster there with you, or do your speech next to the cage. Move the place you're speaking next to the cage. This is the great opportunity that we have by being at home, because if we're doing speeches about animals or family members, we don't have to take them to school. We've got them right there with us. So with the hamster, we did want and need more show and tell with them. We wanted to see them. We wanted to go, oh, it's so cute. I probably wouldn't have said, oh, because like I said, okay, but show him, tell us. It won't cost very much. Tell us how much it will cost. All right. Nora, you started with your introduction, with your attention step. Now, I wrote topic with a question mark because I don't remember actually hearing the topic itself. Credibility and goodwill, the only credibility that we have is that you garden. Okay. And then you had your central idea. I think you joined was one of your points mood? Was one of your points mood?
Yes, teacher.
And another one was being responsible?
Yeah, but I decided to put them together because it was like related to the same story. So I thought it may be repetitive. So that's why I
No, but no, mood and being responsible are 2 completely different things, right? Mood, making you happy, changing your perspective, being responsible. You have to go out and water them and cut them and prune them, and no, they're 2 completely different things. That's why when you put them together and then you put them together and told a story, and I was like, okay. I didn't hear a central idea in the conclusion. And for some reason I put feel spark. Why did I put feel spark at the end? What did you say at the end?
What? Because my internet is like,
It
I
says feel spark. Did you say something about feel spark?
Oh yeah, at the beginning I said something that it was not like magic. It was more like a little spark that you feel when you're taking care of them. So I decided to use the same word to finish it. That if
Okay.
you take it.
All right. Then I didn't hear it at the beginning. That's
Oh.
the key. That's a good idea to do that. It's a very good idea to do that. Whatever you start in the introduction, you finish up in the conclusion, or you repeat it in the conclusion. That's an excellent way to do it. I just didn't hear it in the introduction. I wasn't focusing on it. Okay. Now you had 3 minutes and 6 seconds, so you were within the time limit, but still, I think it could have been developed more. All right. And Laura, I just started taking notes when it was over. It really didn't even last long enough to get a lot of notes. I didn't hear a central idea. I'm not sure what the points were. And this topic, it was a very basic topic, meaning that it was easily organized, it was easily presented. And it's something that you play. I mean, your credibility was that you used to play sports or volleyball. So I really didn't get enough to write down here. Now, my question is, were the speeches better today or worse today?
In my personal opinion, the ones that were yesterday were better than today's presentation.
Yesterday's were better than today's. I agree. I agree. I think yesterday's were much better than today's. One of the reasons is because when you're up and ready, you don't have anything to compare to, and you know you're ready to go, you go. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think many of you chose the second day because you wanted more time to prepare and you wanted more time to see what your students, what your classmates were doing. And that's a good idea if you're going to use it, if you're going to use the extra time, if you're going to really listen to the assessment that we did of them and then go from there with it. But I didn't feel today's speeches were not as organized. You were losing us more. You weren't getting our attention. A lot of them were short, which we didn't have yesterday. Yesterday, we only had one that went over time, and that would have been by a couple of seconds. But today they were short, and not just one, a few of them. So I really do, I mean, it's not about perfection, as I said, it's not about perfection, but it is about having something solid, something that's correct, something that's well organized. Maybe you were nervous and you messed up when you were speaking and your voice was shaking, but your speech was well organized. That's the important thing right now, because with practice and experience, you'll control your voice. You'll control your nerves. But organization you do on your own. You don't have to organize it in front of the audience. That's ready for you. Any questions or comments? We finished step 1. Next week you have another informative on the 30th
Teacher,
and the 1st. Yeah.
I have a question about my body movements. I don't feel that I use them actually.
I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it, right? And if I didn't notice it, that's a good thing. Now, a lot of times today, I was not looking at the screen because I was just sitting here going, oh, good Lord. Okay. But if I didn't notice it, let me check. Fernanda. I didn't notice your hand. I didn't write your hands. I didn't notice them. What I did notice, what I wrote was your eye contact. It was good most of the time, but there were times when you look up like this, you do this. A lot of us do it. A lot of us do it. And this is the problem of speaking to a computer. Okay. When you're speaking to a computer, first of all, it looks like I don't have eye contact with you because I'm looking at your faces on the screen. I'm not looking at the camera. And you're doing the same thing. That's understandable. That's okay. My daughter made me a little pig. Don't ask me why. There's a reason behind it. And I put that up here next to my camera so that when I'm talking to my class, I'm trying to look at that picture so that I'm looking at the camera and not looking at you. But in this case, I'm looking right here at you. But we have a tendency, since we're looking here, and this is why I said video is so important, because me being able to look at you, see your feedback, see the reactions that you're having, helps me to organize and to present what I'm going to present. If I'm looking at a computer, for example, when I use a PowerPoint on here, instead of looking at the screen all the time, a lot of times I'll do this and I'll start talking to my ceiling, or I'll start talking to a plate that I have. And so it starts becoming a habit when you're working with technology that instead of looking at the audience, looking at the camera, you start looking around at different things because you're like, oh, okay, if I'm going to talk to something that doesn't react, I may as well talk to the curtain rather than just looking at the machine all the time. So that's the only thing I noticed in your gestures and your body language, Fernanda, was that a couple of times you would look up like this, which is not terrible, especially not for the first time. But it's a habit that we want to be aware that we're doing. Okay? But I didn't notice your hands. And this is the good thing. I mean, you can move your hands all you want, but as long as they're under the computer camera, you're not seeing what I'm doing right now with my hands, are you? You have no idea. And my shoulders are not moving. And I guess that's important after what happened to the teacher in international relations. That was terrible, wasn't it? Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay.
Teacher, I'm Bere. Can I talk to you for a moment?
Yeah, stay in class.
Well,
stay in class
okay.
then. Okay. All right. I will get these up as soon as possible. The one thing I did not realize is that if I make the questionnaire, if I make the evaluation sheet for you to fill in, I can't fill it in on my own computer. Right? Or maybe if I get out of Google, will I be able to fill it in?
If you join another account.
Right.
Yeah, if you're logged in another account, you can answer it.
Okay, that's what I need to do then. I'm thinking, why did I think I could answer this? So yesterday I didn't get to answer it. So I'll log out of my account, log into another one, and then get these up hopefully today with your grades on it, if not by tomorrow. All right, any other questions or comments? You can do this. You can do this. You need to read the book, look at what it says. In class, we're taking advantage to work with speaking exercises, pronunciation, getting your nerves down. We're working with other things that are complementing the textbook. But the textbook is extremely important. Extremely important. So work with it together with what we're doing in class. Organize. Be ready. Practice. But more than anything, remember, you have an audience in front of you. And you have an audience in front of you that wants to learn something new. Teach them. Show them. Right. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe.
See you, teacher. Bye.
Yeah. Bere, stay in the room. I'll talk to you.
Yes.
What's up, hon?